Welcome to Drunk Bible Study. This show's mission is to read every single word of the greatest story ever told. A warning to our listeners, the hosts of this show are sinners, but they're doing their best. There will be drinking and there may be some swears. They did say they'd try to keep it clean, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
I'm Emily, and this is Drunk Bible Study, where my good friends Dedeker and Jace teach me, a born and raised atheist, all about the Bible. So Jace and Dedeker, how you both doing today?
I'm doing all right, except that we're having some audio issues today. I'm hoping I can do as much as I can in editing to clean that up, but just apologies if you're noticing that this one isn't quite up to our normal standards.
That's what happens when we work remotely from home, but it is what it is.
I heard, Jace, that you've gotten into some competitive lawn mowing tendencies now. That's been kind of your lockdown.
Yeah, you know what?
Hobby?
So I've been here. I'm staying at my mom's place while she and my stepdad 2.0 are not here, right? So I'm here by myself. I've been here by myself for like a month and a half now. And so one of my jobs is taking care of the lawn. And I've been doing it like a normal lawn mowing. And the other day I was walking down the street and I saw someone who had mowed their lawn diagonally. So like the lawnmower stripes were diagonally across their lawn. And I just like stopped on my walk. I think actually I might have been jogging. And I just like stopped and looked at it for a while and was like, that looks great. And then
awesome.
And then I had the second thought of like, oh God, what have I become? And I realized I just should embrace it, that I'm now like the suburban dad archetype. And so then I looked up a bunch of stuff about lawn mowing patterns and techniques and things. And
You would.
So I did like a Zen garden sort of pattern on one lawn, and on the other lawn I did a inverted chevron pattern. And I just kind of went all out. I'm actually due to mow again, so we'll see what I do next time.
Due to mow again. That's exciting. How about you, Dedeker?
I've been pretty good. It's getting colder and colder in Australia.
How strange. It's just getting warmer and warmer here.
I know. No, I'm looking forward to being back in the Northern Hemisphere because it's a little bit hard to sit here and drink like my cold beer right now because it's pretty chilly here today.
Wow. Yeah, you need a hot toddy or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what did we talk about last time? There was a lot of spear throwing, wasn't there?
There's a fair amount, some.
Was it just two?
At least
It
two
felt
times.
like many spears were thrown, but I guess it was only two.
It did seem like a lot.
And then arrows, yes.
Do you remember the secret code? Like if you were David and it had now been 3 days that you'd been hiding and I came out and did the secret code Jonathan did, would you remember?
Was it like far enough away that somebody had to go running for it meant that you needed to get the heck out of there? And if it was close enough that you could just like grab it right where you were at, then all was well? Something to that effect?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
okay, cool.
It was never quite made clear if he was actually going to shoot the arrows far or close, or if he was just going to tell the servant, oh, aren't they beyond you? Keep going. Or like, oh, there they are right next to you. Mm-hmm. They never really clarified, but I guess it would make sense for the ruse if he did consistently do the thing that he said was happening.
Yeah, so we had a lot of romantic scenes between David and Jonathan.
Mm-hmm. I loved that.
Loved that. Yeah.
But also very sad because they had to say goodbye to each other and stuff.
Yeah, they were crying a lot, but that's okay. They also were kissing, and that was cool. Very much enjoyed that.
Kissing, exchanging clothes, all the stuff that you do upon parting from a loved one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then we left off where David ran away. He got Goliath's sword. Oh, they had that whole interaction of like, give me 5 loaves of bread from the priest. And then he was hiding out in that town, and the way he dodged being captured was by pretending that he was a crazy person.
And that's where we left off.
That's it. Yeah.
What are all y'all drinking today?
I have this lovely Underwood Rosé bubbles that really they're kind of the perfect size. It's like, maybe 2 glasses, and that's it. That's all you need in an evening. It's lovely. And also, it's a very nice rosé. I like it very much, the bubbly. Gotta celebrate reading the Bible.
Yeah,
every
I like that.
week.
Yeah.
Every dang week.
Yes, we do. Well, what about you two? What are you drinking? I see you're drinking, yes, a cold beer, Dedeker.
Well, it's a fermented ginger beer.
Oh, yum. That
And
sounds
it's
great.
quite lovely. And
Is it not,
supposedly
like,
maybe a little bit.
Super alcoholic?
It's not. No. It's actually maybe even a little bit probiotic. So maybe I'm actually going to get healthier on this week's episode of Drunk Bible Study.
Or at least like cancel out the effects of the alcohol, maybe. Maybe you
Hopefully,
won't
yes.
like fall over at the end of the episode.
Nice.
I love this funny like mythological world that all of us seem to have agreed to live in, where like healthy calories cancel out unhealthy ones, even though they're still all calories, or that like
That's true.
having probiotics cancels out alcohol. Just like I love it.
True.
I'm having a Bombay Sapphire gin with some lemony soda water. It's actually
sounds
quite nice,
refreshing.
very refreshing. Yeah,
Wow.
It's good for a sunny Seattle day, which it is now. It wasn't this
Really?
morning, but it's sunny now. It's quite beautiful.
Wow, that doesn't happen very often. How lovely.
I know.
All right, well, what are we reading today?
Yes, today we are continuing on with the story of Saul, Samuel, and David, reading 1 Samuel chapters 22, 23, and 24. We have 3 chapters again today. So with that, as we get started and everyone pulls out their Bible study tools or their real Bibles or whatever you want to read along, we want to remind everybody to read responsibly and drink responsibly.
You can drink along with us, or you can listen while you're in the car.
But please do not do both at the same time.
And with that, 1 Samuel chapter 22.
David left Gath and escaped to the cave of Adullam. Medulla
Adullam?
oblongata.
Adullam, that's the thing that hangs in the back of your throat, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not quite sure that's what that is, but nice try.
When his brothers and his father's household heard about it, they went down to him there. All those who were in distress or in debt or discontented gathered around him, and he became their commander. Whoa, so he's becoming like a leader of a rebellion right now.
That's awesome. He's like Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker.
Seriously.
There's the Star Wars reference again.
Got to keep that
Okay.
going.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So all those who were in distress or in debt or discontented gathered around him, and he became their commander. About 400 men were with him. From there, David went to Mizpah in Moab and said to the king of Moab, "Would you let my father and mother come and stay with you until I learn what God will do for me?" What a strange request.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he left them with the king of Moab, and they stayed with him as long as David was in the stronghold. But the prophet Gad said to David, okay, so first of all, new information that there's another prophet
Yeah.
Named
profiting
Gad.
around in
Wait,
Gad.
isn't Gad a tribe?
Yeah, it's a tribe. It's a tribe.
So this is like a different Gad, like the man Gad, a new Gad man.
Well, yeah. I mean, we have established that either a lot of people get named these same names as the tribes, or that they are just referring to him as Gad because he's from that tribe.
Or do you think every tribe has their own resident prophet?
Oh, I see.
That's fun.
This is Prophet Benjamin, and here's Prophet Gad, and
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay.
So, but in this world that we're in right now, this is like before the forces died out, because there's tons of prophets, right? Remember, there was whole bands of prophets and stuff. So this is not
Oh yeah, band of prophets.
like
Yes.
There's prophets about
Cool.
But the prophet Gad said to David, "Do not stay in the stronghold. Go into the land of Judah." So David left and went to the forest of Hereth. Now, Saul heard that David and his men had been discovered. And Saul was seated, spear in hand, oh boy, under the...
Gosh, that's just his weapon of choice, but he doesn't seem to aim very well. Maybe
Yeah, he
he
doesn't
needs
seem to
to
be very
figure
good
something
at
out.
it.
Yeah.
And Saul was seated, spear in hand, under the tamarisk tree on the hill at Gibeah, with all his officials standing at his side. He said to them, "Listen, men of Benjamin, will the son of Jesse give all of you fields and vineyards? Will he make all of you commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds? Is that why you have all conspired against me? No one tells me when my son makes a covenant with the son of Jesse. None of you is concerned about me or tells me that my son has incited my servant to lie in wait for me as he does today."
Hey, Dedeker, I think you're on the NIV, not on the WEB.
Shoot.
Yeah, I was
You're
like,
right.
these are not the same words.
Dang it. Okay.
Either she's
All right,
just
so I
like
left off.
adding a lot of words or, yeah,
It did make a lot more sense than
than it
normally
usually does.
Here's the rules. We have to give credit to the NIV. Good job, NIV.
Thank you, NIV.
We can't read more than like some certain number of verses, and we can't read more than a certain percentage of a chapter, and we're fine with copyright. So I think we're pretty safe so far, as long as we
I
don't
think
do
we're
it again.
okay.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, because I just was looking at the same time. Sorry.
Yeah, I need to remember. It's because if I don't sign into Bible study tools, then it doesn't remember my preferences, and it just sends me back to the NIV. So I left off at verse 7 or 8. Okay, yeah. Just warning people, it's going to get way more incomprehensible from here.
Definitely.
Also, Jace, I still didn't understand, even in the NIV, I didn't quite understand what Saul was getting at. The World English Bible version says, okay, Saul said to his servants who stood about him, "Hear now, you Benjamites, will the son of Jesse give every one of you fields and vineyards? Will he make you all captains of thousands and captains of hundreds? That all of you have conspired against me, and there is none who discloses to me when my son makes a league with the son of Jesse. And there is none of you who is sorry for me, or discloses to me that my son has stirred up my servant against me to lie in wait, as at this day." Okay, I actually think Saul's pissed that no one let him know that David is up to no good or in cahoots with Jonathan.
David and Jonathan made a pact of life and love together.
Yeah.
Yeah, the message says, "Not one of you is man enough to tell me that my own son is making deals with that son of Jesse."
I mean, we don't have to bring in masculinity into it, but okay, we have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, the message does.
Okay, so he's mad at everyone around him for not cluing him in.
Yeah.
Then answered Doge. Right, Doge is back. Okay.
Oh, Doge. Hey, Doge.
Also, someone else in the chat mentioned earlier that Josh Gad should probably be the prophet of Gad, and maybe
Definitely.
could also play Gad back in the day originally. Like, it just fits.
Oh yeah,
He's
kind of
every
retcon
Gad.
that casting.
Yeah.
Every Gad.
He's
I love
every
it.
kind of Gad.
He's all the Gads.
All right.
Every kind of raven, every kind of God.
Then answered Doge the Edomite, who stood by the servants of Saul, and said, "I saw the son of Jesse coming to Nob, to Ahimelech, the son of Ahitub. He inquired of Yahweh for him, and gave him victuals, and gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine. Then the king sent to call Ahimelech the priest, the son of Ahitub, and all his father's house, the priests who were in Nob, and they came, all of them, to the king." So Saul's just like, everybody off the bus, come on
Wait.
down.
Well, he
Okay.
said, he's like sent for them, and like they brought them all over. I'm assuming
Okay.
in shackles, but who
Yeah.
knows?
So is David at this point still like running around trying, like in this other town doing
He's
his
in the
thing?
forest now. He hid in the forest.
Oh, okay.
He went to the cave of Adullam.
And then
Wonders?
the cave of wonders.
No.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and then he went to the forest. He went to the cave,
To
then
find
he
the
like
poo.
stashed his mom and dad in the town, then he
Okay.
ran to the forest. Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
hmm
cool.
Saul said, "Hear now, you son of Ahitub." He answered, "Here I am, my lord." Saul
Yes.
said to him, "Why have you conspired against me, you and the son of Jesse, in that you have given him bread and a sword, and have inquired of God for him, that he should rise against me to lie in wait, as at this day?"
Awkward.
Yeah. Then Ahimelech answered the king and said, Who among all your servants is so faithful as David?
No
Who is
one.
the king's son-in-law and is taken into your council and is honorable in your house? Have I today begun to inquire of God for him? Be it far from me. Don't let the king impute anything to his servant, nor to all the house of my father. For your servant knows nothing of all this, less or more. So I think Ahimelech's taking, like, as far as I knew, you and David were still cool.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's a good way to go. Yeah. He's like, what? I didn't know any better. That's good. Feign ignorance. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
How does Saul respond to that?
The king said, "You shall surely die, Ahimelech, you and all your father's house."
Definitely.
Man, I couldn't even get the excuse. I mean, that is a valid excuse of Ahimelech, I guess, right? He doesn't know. Word doesn't
but
travel that fast
Saul's
in these
out
days.
for blood, clearly.
Yeah.
Saul's,
Okay.
he's not going to rest until somebody dies.
Right.
The king said to the guard who stood about him, "Turn and kill the priests of Yahweh, because their
Jeez.
hand also is with David, and because they knew that he fled and didn't disclose it to me." But the servants of the king wouldn't put forth their hand to fall on the priests of Yahweh.
Wow.
This is not the first time that his men have refused to kill someone that he said, because they did that with Jonathan before.
Oh, that's got to be frustrating for Saul. No wonder he's so upset all the
it's
time.
fine.
Like, no one
He's-
respects him. He's
but-
grasping at straws.
He doesn't deserve these people's respect.
Exactly. Yeah.
The king said to Doge, "Turn you,
Doge.
turn you, and fall on the priests."
And the Doge was like, so priests, such kill. Wow.
Such kill. Many deaths. Doge. Doge the Edomite turned and he fell on the priests, and he killed on that day 85 persons who wore a linen ephod. Jeez.
Wow. So he was
Wait.
like, yeah, I'm a Doge. I'll do it.
85. Who wore a linen ephod. Okay. I was like, what? What's a linen ephod? I say. So he
Wearing
killed all
the
them priests.
priestly garments. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Doge killed them all.
Jeez.
All right. Nob, the city of the priests, struck he with the edge of the sword, both men and women, children and nursing babies, and oxen and donkeys and sheep with the edge of the sword. Okay, now Saul is pretty bad. He's a pretty bad boy. The
all
dark
right.
side of the force is with him. He's
Yes,
full-blown
I-
Kylo Ren.
Well, it's like Anakin Skywalker. He was that's
the
like a
younglings.
better interpretation, because Ben Kenobi becomes Ben Kenobi at the end. But
Well, I
Anakin
mean-
Skywalker becomes Darth Vader at the end.
Everyone plug your ears. Emily's spoiling all this.
Oh, it's been out for a long time.
Well, we still have more in this story with David and Saul, so
right,
who
all
knows?
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe
so
he'll come back around again. That'd be cool.
Maybe.
So he just destroys, absolutely
Doge does.
wastes. No.
Yes.
Well, do you think Doge did all this?
Yeah.
I thought Doge killed 85 people.
I think
But
that.
then you think he went on
we
to kill
stopped
the entire
to talk
city?
about it, but I think that was all referring to Doge. Did it ever change subject to talk about Saul?
Someone wants us to cast Doge.
No, we already cast Doge. It is the Sheba from
It's-
meme history. It's a Sheba. It's a little Sheba
Yeah.
that's a very terrifying Sheba because it's capable of great destruction.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, everyone's like, oh, it's so cute, and then this scene happens. Everyone's like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
So yeah,
How
no,
could
like
it?
I'm looking at the message here, and it says Doge the Edomite led the attack and slaughtered the priests, the 85 men who wore the robes. He then carried the massacre into Nob, the city of priests, killing
okay.
man and woman,
Yeah.
child and baby, ox, donkey, and sheep. The works.
Good. The
Literally,
works.
it
Good.
says the works.
Like a sandwich with the works. Yes,
Exactly.
okay.
Give me the works.
Murder with the works, please.
Wow.
One of the sons of Ahimelech, the son of Ahitub, named Abiathar, escaped and fled after David. Abiathar told David that Saul had slain Yahweh's priests.
Whoa. Yahweh's not going to be happy about this, I'm assuming. I just, from reference. Although I
Yahweh's
am
been
surprised.
kind of quiet in this story.
That's the thing. I'm surprised that Yahweh let this happen. Couldn't he have just been like, nah, Saul, bam, you're done,
I guess
man.
it's all part of
You're
his
done."
plan. I think his plan is to kind of like Saul buried, dig his own grave, essentially.
All right. I mean, you'd know better than I, Dedeker.
No, we all know equally well, Emily. We're going to get you over that thinking. We all know equally well because we're all reading the same book from the beginning here.
Yeah, but you've read it. You've read parts of it before, is what I'm saying.
That actually makes us probably less qualified to answer this. But think about it, though. Think about the story we've read. Yahweh doesn't get involved that often. That's like not his jam. He doesn't tend to do that. He gets involved where he wants to, but then he
he got kind of front loaded all his rules and all his laws and all his preferences.
Except for in Job.
To him.
Well, yeah, but even in Job, Yahweh wasn't exactly speaking up a whole bunch.
No, he wasn't, but he was like, yeah, do whatever you want, devil. Have fun. Go nuts.
Right.
Exactly, kind of the light touch, I guess.
Yeah.
He's only going to come in to get mad. He's like a recalcitrant father.
Wow, you got to teach me that word. Recalcitrant. Can I just throw that into everyday conversation? Please.
Yes.
Good.
You have permission.
There's also, I think, point of view, too. Remember thinking about each book being different, that this book is from the point of view of the people, I guess, supposedly from the point of view of Samuel, right? Like he's the one writing this, I guess, about himself in the third person, which is weird. But compared to Job, which had like the starting and ending sections were written in this sort of like omniscient narrator who was able to see God's conversations and also Job's. And then like the middle section of it seemed more just like a normal drama amongst humans. So it kind of, that book was sort of a weird, different outlier, I think.
Oh, absolutely. In comparison to all these ones.
Right.
I was very young in my Bible days back then. I didn't know what I was in for. Can you go on?
I'm going to get back to the story.
By
okay.
all means.
So Abiathar told David that Saul had slain Yahweh's priests. David said to Abiathar, I knew on that day when Doeg the Edomite was there, that he would surely tell Saul, I have occasioned the death of all the persons of your father's house. Abide you with me, don't be afraid, for he who seeks my life seeks your life. For with me you shall be in safeguard. I don't know if that's actually very comforting, David. He's like, hang out with me. They're trying to kill me, so that means they're probably going to try to kill you too, but it's okay.
Let's stick together.
We'll get through this together.
He'll, do another sling thing and sling Saul, if he absolutely has to.
Another sling thing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Do another sling thing. I'm glad that you explained to me, Jace, what the heck like a sling actually is, because I would have thought that he just was like really good at skipping stones and was able to like lodge a stone into Goliath's head.
Right.
But he had some help with the sling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, that's the end of my chapter.
Lovely.
Okay. All right.
Beautiful.
I'm going to just keep this party going with some 1 Samuel 23.
You do that.
Okay, I will. Fine. They told David, saying, behold, the Philistines, I still want to say it that way, the Philistines are fighting against Keilah and are robbing the threshing floors.
Keilah?
Keilah? Keilah. Keilah.
Keilah. Okay, Keilah. Sure. Why not?
Keilah. Yeah. And are robbing the threshing floors. Okay. Therefore, David inquired of Yahweh, saying, pardon me, sir.
Excuse me.
Shall I go and strike these Philistines?
He's like, hey, God. Yo, God. You want me to do something here? Should I sling him?
So I'm assuming this must be his like band of merry men. Like he's sort of a Robin Hood figure now, hiding out in the woods.
It's true. He has become a Robin Hood. All the people in debt are banded around him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
Right.
So then he wants to know, should we come out of hiding, I guess, to go help these towns in Keilah, help Keilah. Okay. Yahweh said to David, go and strike the Philistines and save Keilah. David's men said to him, behold, we are afraid here in Judah. How much more then if we go to Keilah against the armies of the Philistines? Then David inquired of Yahweh yet again.
He's like, I'm
sorry, wait, one more time, though. One more time.
On second thought, let's not go to Keilah.
Let's talk
it's a silly place.
Yahweh answered him and said, arise, go down to Keilah, for I will deliver the Philistines into your hand. David and his men went to Keilah and fought with the Philistines and brought away their cattle and killed them with a great slaughter. I think
that was it. They just took the cattle. I mean,
I
that's
think
a
they
big
killed.
deal.
I think they brought away their cattle and then killed the men with a great slaughter. It doesn't specify, but that's what I was assuming that meant. Right? They didn't want to just like go steal all their cattle and kill them. That's weird.
That would be weird. But that's also a weird order of events for them to say that in, because normally it's like they killed them and then they took all their
You're
remaining
right.
sheep and
Yeah.
oxen.
and donkeys. It's weird that they're like, we're going to come steal the cows first, get them into a safe location, and then we're coming back for your asses.
So, according to the message, they came and they scattered their cattle, and then they beat them decisively.
Wait, the cattle or the men?
It is, yeah, you're right.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Everyone left it ambiguous because they didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so they brought away their cattle and killed them with a great slaughter. So David saved the inhabitants of Keilah,
Yay! There was much rejoicing.
and there was much rejoicing.
Yay.
It happened when Abiathar, the son of Ahimelech, fled to David to Keilah, that he came down with an ephod in his hand. It was told Saul that David was come to Keilah. Okay. Saul said, God has delivered him into my hand, for he is shut in by entering into a town that has gates and bars.
I'm sure it'll be okay for David, Saul. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, but, you know.
This feels like Saul.
Saul is wishful thinking here.
Yeah, he's trying to make the best out of a bad situation. You know,
That's nice.
Well, I mean, I think it's delusional more than nice, but
Right. I mean, he's the side of the empire here if we're going with our Star Wars thing, right? So he's like, we outman them, so let's go get them. Now we know where they are. They're just in this little rebel base. No problem. Okay, so Saul summoned all the people to war to go down to Keilah to besiege David and his men. David knew that Saul was devising mischief against him, and he said to Abiathar the priest, bring here the ephod.
It feels like David is always one step ahead of Saul.
yeah,
At
it's
least
definitely
one step.
some good cat and mouse action for sure.
Yeah, it's like Saul is like a Jafar figure to me, and David is Aladdin at this point.
He's scrappy. He's
And
a scrappy
then
street rat.
See, that would make Jonathan Jasmine, which I really like that idea. I love it. Love it so much.
Okay. All right. I'm into it. So, wait, but then would that make Samuel the genie?
Sure.
Or is
We can lean
Yahweh
into
the
that.
genie?
This is
Maybe
some intense
Yahweh's
casting.
I don't know. This is not a fully fleshed out idea, okay? I just like, that's what I thought of
I like it.
immediately.
I like it. Okay. So, David knows this is happening, and he said to Abiathar the priest, bring here the ephod. Then said David, O Yahweh, the God of Israel, your servant has surely heard that Saul seeks to come to Keilah to destroy the city for my sake. Will the men of Keilah deliver me up into his hand? Will Saul come down as your servant has heard? Yahweh, the God of Israel, I beg you, tell your servant. Yahweh said, he will come down. Then said David,
Cool.
that was it. It's just, he will come down. Then said David, will the men of Keilah deliver up to me and my men into the hand of Saul? Prepositions in that sentence were
What?
confusing. Will the men of Keilah deliver up to me and my men into the hand of Saul? I guess, will they turn us over?
I feel like you added more prepositions that time.
Maybe I just read them all that time. That's what it's written. Okay. Yahweh said, they will deliver you up.
Cool.
Then David and his men, who were about 600, arose and departed out of Keilah and went wherever they could go.
I want to point out, someone's mentioning in the chat the fact that like Yahweh just kind of being very curt in this way, just being like, yeah, he's going to deliver him. Makes sense if it's them asking Yahweh a yes or no question using the Urim and Thummim, the casting, the
Uma Thurman.
The Uma Thurmans, what do you call
the
that?
Lots. Casting of lots, right? Are they divining? What, they're
no, there's
diviners.
a word for it.
I think we just
Something
say
like
casting
that.
lots.
But casting lots is like you're gambling with dice.
No, but I think casting lots comes originally from a fortune telling technique that then later took on the gambling meaning.
Okay, well, that's something that they did. And so I think that makes sense then why it's just kind of like, yep, nope, yep, nope.
Someone pointed out we have to remember that the rock is playing Yahweh. And I do like the idea that instead of having Uma Thurman come in and give these yes or no answers, that instead it's The Rock sitting there like not really paying attention, just being like
on a
"Oh, what?"
switch, just like
No, literally,
Yeah.
I feel like The Rock is like watching television of this. Like this is like something that's like on in the background or whatever.
Right.
He's like doing something else. He's selling turnips on Animal Crossing.
Right.
And like this is kind of in the background. And he's like, yeah, no.
Right. David calls him on the phone and he's like trying to do other things at the same time. He's like, yeah.
like,
No, they're gonna come. Yeah. No, yeah, they'll turn you over. Yeah.
yeah, don't worry about it, man. You're good.
Okay. So what we're taking away from this though is that he found out they're gonna turn us over, so we gotta run. So he and his how many was it? 600?
it was 400.
400?
That was 400 that he gathered to himself.
600? 500?
600.
Some number between
looking.
400 and 600.
Then David and his men, who were about 600, arose and
600.
departed out of Keilah and went wherever they could go. It was told Saul that David was escaped from Keilah, and he gave up going there.
Oh,
He just didn't even bother.
That was easy.
wow. He's like, well, I'm not going to win this one. Whatever, bye.
Mhm.
Cool.
David abode in the wilderness, in the strongholds, and which is it? In the wilderness, in the strongholds, and remained in the hill country, in the wilderness of Ziph.
Ziph.
Zip. Zip or
Ziph. So
I'm calling that a Ziph.
Ziph?
Ziph.
Okay.
Ziph, zap, zoff.
Saul sought him every day, but God didn't deliver him into his hand. David said that Saul had come out to seek his life, and David was in the wilderness of Ziph in the wood.
Is he lost in the wilderness? Is he lost in the wilderness, Jace?
Oh, yeah.
That
they
that
both
happened.
lost?
That was a Cain and Abel song. Sorry, what are we referencing? East of Eden? No, what?
Children of Eden.
Children of Eden. Different Eden. East of Eden is James, the guy who died in the car crash.
Yes. Correct. Yes. We got it.
James. Yeah. Okay. So what was the name of Robin Hood's hideout? Didn't that have a name? His like there's Robin and the Merry Men, and they had like the woods where they had their hideout. I'm blanking. I wish I could remember.
Anyone?
Sherwood.
Sherwood Forest.
Sherwood
Wow.
Forest. Yeah.
James Dean, Sherwood Forest, East of Eden. We got it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, so he's building like a cool tree fort in
my mom
Sherwood
texted
Forest.
me and was like, James Dean, come on. Thanks, Mom.
Okay. Jonathan, Saul's son. Oh, Jonathan. Oh, great. Okay, Jonathan. Saul's son
Jonathan.
back.
arose
Wow.
and went
Goodness.
and went into Sherwood and went into the wood and strengthened his hand in God.
Huh? What? Hannah?
We're just gonna.
How
we're
did
just
that?
gonna-
Let's
Yeah.
check. Let's check.
Mhm.
Strengthened his hand in God.
Wait, what would you?
I think that he went into Sherwood Forest and it prompted a super intense Rocky training montage where he's like, I'm going to help out David and I'm going to run up these steps
Okay.
and drink these eggs and those
Sweet.
things. Yeah.
So apparently it's not too far off, except that the one that we're doing the training montage is David. So
Oh.
Jonathan goes into the wood, meets up with David, and strengthens
And
his
then
hand.
together they have a joint. Oh, it's so romantic and
So
cute.
Jonathan's the one with the stopwatch and stuff as he's, climbing
Yeah.
up the trees or
Coaching him through his push-ups.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, he said to him, "Don't be afraid, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find you, and you shall be king over Israel, and I shall be next to you." Could you please put that in writing real quick?
Wait. So that's like they're gonna be king and king together.
Wait, did he actually say, I'm going to be next to you?
He did, yeah.
Jeez.
He said, "And I shall be next to you." I put in the part about signing something in case you hadn't
Signed,
guessed
sealed,
that.
delivered?
So, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find you, and you shall be king over Israel, and I shall be next to you. And that also Saul my father knows.
That we're in love with each other?
Did he come out to his father? That's how I read that. Is
Awesome.
also Saul
Good.
my
Good for
father
him, you know?
knows. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They two two, TWO, the boths of them, made a covenant before Yahweh, and David abode in the wood, and Jonathan went to his house.
Okay,
Deal?
so they're
Deal.
like, we're gonna make a covenant, but we're gonna go our separate ways.
Yeah. Okay. Then came up the Ziphites. I see. The people who live in Ziph are the Ziphites.
Cool. Where is Ziph?
No one knows.
We have to
not
write
one
that
of the
down to look
12
it up.
Yeah, that's not one of the 12 tribes.
No, but
Ziph.
there's tons of cities that aren't the tribes. You know, they probably belong to one of the tribes. But anyway, Ziph probably at the time was so popular they didn't need to explain because everyone knew it.
Definitely, everyone knew what it was, except for us.
Then came up the Ziphites to Saul to Gibeah, saying, "Doesn't David hide himself with us in the strongholds in the wood, in the hill of Nachilah, which is on the south of the desert?" Very specific.
Who are they saying this to? Themselves?
I don't know.
So the Ziphites came up to Saul in Gibeah.
Oh, they're like, we know that.
Oh, they're talking to Saul. Yikes.
Uh-oh. The Ziphites
He's on
are
the south
selling
of
them out.
the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what they say. Ziph is as good stitches is.
What was
That's
that?
a stretch.
Yeah, I don't know what you were going for there, but good try.
Ziphites get stitchites.
Yeah, it's good. Now, therefore, O king, come down according to all the desire of your soul to come down, and our part shall be to deliver him up into the king's hand. Saul said,
Wow, okay.
okay, so this is Adam Driver. Saul said, "Blessed be you of Yahweh, for you have had compassion on me. Please go make yet
What?
more."
What?
I'm sorry.
What was that?
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Please.
I'm pretty sure this
So-
is a typo.
Is this a typo? Because it says PLESEASE.
I'm pretty sure this is a
Please.
typo. But I love it.
Please. It's great.
Please. I'm going to start using that with you guys now. Please.
Please shut up.
Okay. Oh, for you have had compassion on me. This is Adam Driver still. Please go make yet more sure and know and see his place where his haunt is and who has seen him there. For it is told me that he deals very subtly. See, therefore, and take knowledge of all the lurking places where he hides himself.
Ooh.
I guess he does kind of have a breathy voice. I was like, what are you doing? And then I'm like, oh, okay. I get it. Kind of. Adam Driver.
And come you again to me of a certainty, and I will go with you. And it shall happen, if he be in the land, that I will search him out among all the thousands of Judah. They arose and went to Ziph before Saul. But David and his men were in the wilderness of Malin.
Man.
Of Malin from
And Talon. Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. But so they went to Ziph, but David and his men were in the wilderness of Maon in the Arabah on the south of the desert. Saul and his men went to seek him. They told David why he came down to the rock and abode in the wilderness of Maon. This is lowercase rock. This is not the rock. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not the Dwayne.
Not the Dwayne. Yeah.
Help me out, Jace. Help me out, Jace. I'm
He's
really
having a
lost.
time. He's having a hard time with it.
Let me see what the message has to say here. So, okay, this is verse 24 in the message. So the Ziphites set out on their reconnaissance for Saul. Meanwhile, David and his men were in the wilderness of Maon in the desert south of Jeshimon. Saul and his men arrived and began their search. When David heard of it, he went south to Rock Mountain, camping out in the wilderness of Maon. This is another music festival they're going to.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I guess they told David, I guess just means like he heard about it.
Okay.
Like the proverbial someone told David. Why he came down to the rock and abode in the wilderness of Maon. When Saul heard that, he pursued after David in the wilderness of Maon.
Finally, He wasn't just like, ugh,
Who?
I'm not
Okay,
gonna do
hold
this.
on. Who is running the country in the midst
No.
of all of this?
Dedeker, no one. God.
Who is
ostensibly.
taking responsibility?
It runs itself these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, bureaucrats, exactly. David said in the chat, bureaucrats. Yes, exactly. They're running the country. Nothing's changed. Saul went on this side of the mountain, and David and his men on that side of the mountain. It was just a classic physical comedy goof. Our favorite word's coming back. For Saul and his men compassed David. David and his men round about to take them.
So they're coming around the mountain when they come. That kind of old tactic.
Yeah,
Definitely.
But there came a messenger to Saul saying, "Haste you and come, for the Philistines have made a raid on the land." So Saul returned from pursuing after David and went against the Philistines. Therefore, they called that place Selah Hamalakoth.
I'm
One more
looking
time,
at
please.
this word. Selah dash Hamama. Ham Achlikoth.
Now I need to take a look.
David
28.
went up from there and lived in the strongholds of En-gedi.
Oh, and Giddy. I love it.
And that's the end of the chapter. Now, what does Selah Hamalakoth mean?
Who are you asking?
Apparently it means that it means like that he's pursuing after David against the Philistines. I don't know.
I like the idea that it means like the place where they ran around the mountain in opposite directions, but then Saul gave up partway through or something.
Totally.
Would not be surprised. We do have a listener in the chat who's wanting us, before we move on, to make some predictions about what's going to happen next.
Yeah, Emily, don't look ahead.
Okay, I'm not. I don't know. Saul and David are gonna meet and have to like deal with each other.
Are they going to have like a one-on-one lightsaber battle at the end?
That would be so cool.
That would be really
Wait
cool.
a minute though. But if Adam Driver is Saul, then who's David?
We said that him like ages ago.
We said that he's like the Winter Soldier, but okay, does that mean that he's the Winter Soldier as a young Luke Skywalker who hasn't been born yet, presumably?
I like the
or
idea
who has
of
been so old, rather. Sorry, other direction.
Well, you're not trying to force the Star Wars timeline onto this. We're just using We're just using the actors as the characters as the actors in our movie.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Old David. When we get to old David,
That's going to be a while from now.
Then it can be Mark Hamill.
or then it'll be Mark.
Yeah, that can be Mark Hamill.
Wait a minute. Is Samuel 2, The Return of Samuel, all about David 2 as well, rather?
I think so. I don't know, actually.
We got a long way to go with this guy. Long way to go. Thankfully, he's pretty fun. He's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so anyway, the Winter Soldier versus Kylo Ren one-on-one lightsaber battle. Is that our prediction?
Cool. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah,
excited
that's
to
where
see
I'll
this
put my
happen.
money.
Okay.
Emily, before you start up that really awesome story, can you tell people about our Patreon?
And with that, it's my turn.
Yeah, Emily, can I read you the titles of this?
Yeah, we have titles. Cool.
So the Message has one title and the NIV has a different title.
Oh,
The NIV...
I wonder why.
The NIV title I'm not going to read because it's a spoiler, but the Message's title fits perfectly with our Star Wars thing because the title is just in quotes, "I'm no rebel."
Oh,
That's amazing.
Man,
That's pretty impressive.
That's good.
Yeah. Wow. But wait, what's the other title?
No, I'm not going to tell you because it's a spoiler.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so we're on 1 Samuel 24, so everyone get your Bibles back out. Here we go. It happened when Saul was returned from following the Philistines that it was told him, saying, "Behold, David is in the wilderness in En-gedi." En-gedi. Oh, that's En-gedi. 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 Then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all of Israel. I wonder why they were chosen. Or was
Maybe
he just
he
like, I
did-
choose you, whatever.
Maybe he did
You're
a similar
chosen
thing
now.
like Gideon of this weird arbitrary test of like, I'm going to lead you to the river, and whoever dunks their whole head in the water doesn't get to come with me. And whoever whips out their reusable metal straw and sticks it in the river, they're the ones who get to come with me.
I was thinking Saul's style would be more like nationwide talent competition to like
love
choose
it.
his
I love
soldiers.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
they have to be the best talent in the land in order to come.
Yeah.
Well, these 3,000 men out of all of Israel went to seek David and his men on the rocks of the wild goats. Oh, I did not expect that sentence.
Oh,
Wait,
The rocks
What?
of the wild goat. Is that just like that's probably the name of the place, right?
then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all of Israel and went to seek David and his men on the rocks of the wild goats.
Is it capitalized? like
yeah.
a name?
No, it's not. It's not capitalized.
they're just like, that place in the foothills, like where all
Where
the
all the
wild
goats-
goats are. You know it. That's where they love to hang out.
Or is he like, I thought that maybe rocks was a euphemism for testicles, but that wouldn't make sense either.
Why would the goats? No. I'm
Why would they-
vetoing that.
no.
No.
I don't know because none of it makes sense to me. Anyways, we're going to keep going. He came to the sheep pens, by the way, where was a cave, and Saul went in to cover his feet.
We know
Oh.
what that means. Emily?
Emily, do you remember what that means?
We're both pointing at you.
Did they do it? No, I don't know.
Do you remember what covering his feet means? We've encountered this before. It's a euphemism.
I can give you a hint.
Okay.
It was in the story where Sir Paul McCartney stabbed the big king.
Was that not about... I thought that guy like was having... Oh, was he pooping?
Yes. There you
Yes.
go.
Thank you. Now I remember. We got it. Okay, so Saul went in to cover his feet.
Right. I know. And someone points out in chat
we need to go
flashbacks
number
to
2.
Ruth.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
no, that's the weird thing about this euphemism. is-
My mom just texted me and was like, poop, come on.
I love that your mom gets in on this too. Like, come on, Emily. So yeah, right. So
Yeah.
right, like that uncovering feet is this euphemism for genitals, I guess. But then
Okay.
covering your feet is separately a euphemism for pooping. So,
Okay. Cool. Thank you. All right, we're continuing. Now, David and his men were abiding in the innermost parts of the cave. So they were close to Saul and his men? Yikes.
I think they were like way in the back, and Saul's men were
Okay.
coming up to the.
Wait, this is all going down in the same cave? The hiding out and the pooping and the entering?
I guess that's really awkward. It's like a whole tribe of men behind Saul who's like doing his business up in the front of the cave, and they're like, "Oh boy, like keep, yeah, let's hope that doesn't waft down here."
I see. So he doesn't even know that they're there. He's just there pooping.
I'm assuming he doesn't.
Oh, he's gone into the wrong cave to poop, not knowing
He
that they're
definitely
hiding
has. He definitely
out.
has.
Oh
So
boy, how
okay.
embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing because the men of David said to him, "Behold, the day of which Yahweh said to you, Behold, I will deliver your enemy into your hand, and you shall do to him as it seemed good to you." So he's like, here he is. He's like at his most vulnerable right now. Go get him. Then David arose and cut off the skirt of Saul's robe secretly.
Oh,
How would he do
I-
that? So Saul's
okay.
like,
Let me.
okay, yeah, please.
We got to think about. Okay, we got to think about a mental picture
logistics?
here.
Yeah.
The logistics of this. How would he? Unless Saul is like so kitted out in all his royal garb that he had to like take off several layers to go.
I
pop.
see. Maybe this was lying
And
on the
then-
floor nearby.
Yeah, and then David is able to be like, and like cut off a little bit of the robe. But if it's still attached to his body, like how does that work?
I don't know.
Wild.
Unless he has this really long, like bridal train that just.
I have no
No,
idea.
I'm also.
It's quite an
I
interesting.
just wish I knew. I wish I knew what
visual.
Saul was wearing. I need more specifics about what Saul is actually wearing, and people in the chat are clamoring for what the message says about this.
Yeah, let me
Jace,
hit you with the
come on.
message here. Yes.
Give it to us.
There was a cave there, and Saul went in to relieve himself. David and his men were huddled far back in the same cave.
Awkward.
David's men whispered to him, "Can you believe it? This is the day God was talking about when he said, 'I'll put your enemy in your hands. You can do whatever you want to him.'" And then, quiet as a cat, David... just calm down. I gotta get to the end of this. Quiet as a cat, David crept up and cut off a piece of Saul's royal robe.
Oh, a piece is way different than like
His whole skirt, yeah.
Yeah. Goodness. Okay. All right, I'm going to keep going. It happened afterward that David's heart struck him because he had cut off Saul's skirt.
Do you want the message already?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Immediately, he felt guilty.
Okay. That's more helpful than what the heck this was. He said to his men, "Yahweh forbid that I should do this thing to my Lord, Yahweh's anointed, to put forth my hand against him, seeing he is Yahweh's anointed."
Or does he just feel awkward? Does he just feel awkward about the fact that he had to watch him take a dump?
I mean,
he's
I'm
like,
sure
I don't
that's
feel good
incredibly
about
weird,
this.
but yeah. So David checked his men with these words
Before they wrecked his men, yeah.
exactly, and didn't allow them to rise against Saul. Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. He had no idea. And then, he looked behind him and he's like, "Where's my skirt? Where'd it go? I don't know."
Can I read you the message version
Yes.
of what you just read? So we're going to continue with this cat metaphor here. Immediately, he felt guilty. He said to his men, "God forbid that I should have done this to my master, God's anointed, that I should so much as raise a finger against him. He is God's anointed." David,
We got it.
Yeah. David held his men in check with these words and wouldn't let them pounce on Saul.
No pouncing to be done.
No pouncing to be done.
Yeah. Sir Pounce. Let's see. So, David also arose afterward and went out of the cave and cried after Saul, saying, "My lord, the king!" When Saul looked behind him, David bowed with his face to the earth and did obeisance.
Careful where you're bowing, David.
Obeisance. Is that a word?
Obeisance.
Obeisance.
It's like it's the bow and scrape.
David said to Saul, "Why listen to your men's words, saying, 'Behold, David seeks your hurt'? Behold, this day your eyes have seen how that Yahweh has delivered you today into my hand in the cave, and some bade me kill you, but my eye, this one, spared you. And I said, I will not put forth my hand against my Lord, for he is Yahweh's anointed." Cool. And Saul's like completely dumbstruck, I'm assuming, at this point.
Right. So, okay, I'm going to read you the message because that was
Okay.
hard to follow.
Yeah.
So Saul, David went out and called out to Saul and then bowed down. We got that part. That was clear.
Yeah.
He called out. So this is still David talking. "Why do you listen to those who say David is out to get you? This very day, with your very own eyes, you have seen that just now in the cave God put you in my hands. My men wanted to kill you, but I wouldn't do it." He's just throwing all his men under the bus.
Yeah, totally.
"I told them that I won't lift a finger against my master. He's God's anointed." I see. So this is weird. I don't quite understand David's motivations here.
This feels like some propaganda to me, honestly.
I mean, sure. Is this a thing that you two remember?
I remember the pooping.
Really?
Jace, you don't remember the pooping? How could you not remember that as like a third grader? That's like the only thing that sticks in your mind.
I don't remember that. No.
You don't?
Okay.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe I had like a Bible teacher who knew the way to a third grader's heart because they taught us this story.
Apparently. Wow. Well, okay, I'm going to continue. "Moreover, my father, behold, yes, see the skirt of your robe in my hand, For in that I cut off the skirt of your robe and didn't kill you, now you and know you and see that there is neither evil nor disobedience in my hand, and I have not sinned against you, though you hunt after my life to take it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Okay, yeah. No, I think I followed that.
Yahweh judge between me and you, and Yahweh avenge me of you, but my hand shall not be on you. As says the proverb of the ancients, out of the wicked comes forth wickedness, but my hand shall not be on you. Is that a
Okay.
proverb?
We got another
Is that a
proverb.
proverb that y'all know?
Well, read the proverb part again.
I mean, this is the World English Bible, so it's probably not like what we know, but it says, out of the wicked comes forth wickedness, but my hand shall not be on you.
I think, okay, so from what I'm seeing from these other translations, that my hand shall not be on you is not part of it. Like
Oh.
the proverb is just that first part.
Out of the wicked comes forth wickedness.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like stupid is as stupid does.
Sure.
Or, right, like, let's see, the NIV says, from evildoers come evil deeds. And the message says, evil deeds come from evil people. You know,
Once a Sith, always a Sith.
that's, there you go. That's,
There it is.
That's
there
how
it is.
That's how we'll translate it in ours. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the movie.
After whom is the king of Israel come out? After whom do you pursue? After a dead dog? After a flea? Is he saying himself? Like, who are you coming after, man?
I'm wondering, is he kind of mocking Saul, being like, I'm
think he's
not that
mocking
much
him
of a
at least
threat
a
to
little
you?
bit.
Why are you
I don't
doing
know
this,
if I-
man?
Yeah, Saul, I think, is smarter than that. He's like, come on. David is seen well in the eyes of God.
Can I just pitch you
Mhm.
real quick on an idea for the movie?
Mm-hmm.
When he says, who do you think you're chasing? A dead dog? A flea? And he kind of gestures off to the side, and then we cut to Flea, the musician / actor, standing there as one of his men, being like, you know, what? Me? You know, I think that'd be just a fun little thing to
good.
throw
Who
in
is
there.
Flea? Who is
Good
Flea
joke.
in?
He was the bass player for, or is still the bass
Red Hot
player
Chili
for the Red
Peppers.
Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes.
But he's also in Back to the Future 2. He's
What?
Yeah, he's made some cameos.
I just watched that film. I just watched all the Back to the Futures. Highly recommend it. They're all on Netflix right now.
okay.
Good
So
for them.
you remember in Back to the Future 2 where
Yes.
the like young future Biff
Griff.
Griff, thank you,
Yes.
where Griff had his like buddies with him.
Totally.
He was
And
the-
one of them was not Carrie Elwes. Who was the other guy? The guy in Titanic. No, that was Biff in the future past. In
my
1980.
gosh.
Okay,
Wait.
all right.
But
Flea-
Flea was there.
Can we?
Flea
I
was
want to
there.
bring us.
Flea was the
okay.
blonde one.
Cool.
If you remember of the
Got
three
it.
guys, he was the blonde one.
Cool.
Like the bleached blonde. Okay. Thank you, Dedeker, for letting us finish our conversation.
I just really want to know what happens.
Okay, where was I? Oh, here we go. Flea. Yes.
Yes.
I'm on 15. Yahweh therefore be judge and give sentence between me and you, and see and plead my case, cause, and deliver me out of your hand. It came to pass when David had made an end of speaking these words to Saul that Saul said, Is this your voice, my son David? Saul lifted up his voice and wept.
Oh,
What?
Now he's moved. Maybe. I guess he's maybe because David didn't actually kill him.
Okay, I mean,
I don't know. I think Saul's
it's
kind of a crazy
Saul's.
person. He's in his whole Kylo Ren back and forth, lots of emotions, lots of drama
Yeah.
kind of phase of life.
I feel like this is a big moment. Imagine like music swelling here, like very emotional
Okay.
music, and keep
Okay.
going. But imagine that going. I'll put that in later in the edit.
Good, please do,
Okay.
please do. He said to David, You are more righteous than I, for you have rendered to me good, whereas I have rendered to you evil. You have declared this day how that you have dealt well with me, because when Yahweh had delivered me up into your hand, you didn't kill me. For if a man finds his enemy, will he let him go away unharmed? Therefore may Yahweh reward you good for that which you have done to me this day. Now behold, I know that you shall surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in your hand. Swear now, therefore, to me by Yahweh, that you will not cut off my seed after me, that you will not destroy my name out of my father's house. David swore to Saul. Saul went home, but David and his men got them up to the stronghold. The end.
Wow. That was quite
so Saul, like, had
Saul
a
was
change
just
of
like,
heart,
oh,
I guess.
Yeah.
We called it. It is the Anakin arc or the Kylo Ren
You mean the
arc.
Ben-
You go
The
to
Ben
the dark
Kenobi arc.
side and you come back.
But then
Yeah.
they would have had to kiss also during this moment.
No,
Wait,
that's
what?
He comes
not-
back.
Anakin doesn't kiss anyone except for Natalie Portman, but she,
No,
died.
I was talking about Adam Driver.
Yeah,
Okay.
but okay, we already decided not to cast Daisy Ridley as David, so we can't
Yeah, I know.
go back on all this. No, but isn't this cool? Like it's the like
Yeah.
okay. Maybe this is too much, but I feel like Saul's story might be the most interesting story we've seen yet in terms of
Mhm.
like a character.
I get that. Yeah.
That we've seen
I get
him
that.
go from this handsome, very tall man who was nothing, from was the least of all the families of Benjamin, even though I guess they had like 23 servants or whatever. But whatever, was still like kind of like, who am I? Who then gets
Jean
picked
Valjean. Yeah.
to be king.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's great, but then sort of loses favor and starts to kind of unravel mentally.
Definitely.
And goes to
Definitely.
the dark side. But then when he's like presented with the chosen one, with the like Neo Luke Skywalker goodness, he does eventually see it and is like, wow, yeah. I mean, maybe this is still going to switch back to him being terrible, but at least right now, this is a really good story. Like I would watch this movie or trilogy of movies or series of a TV show about this arc. Like this is super cool. I'm not even joking. Like this is actually good. Like
Okay,
this is a good
all right.
arc. I think this is cool.
It's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. It's just funny that it took so little to get Saul to give up. Well, maybe not so little. It was a lot
I
of
don't
chasing
think it's-
around and going through caves and
He could have
running,
killed
jumping,
him.
climbing
He
trees.
could have killed him right there. And I think maybe if
He was
we
right there.
if we understood that Saul already maybe was having some doubts about himself, and we've seen he has these moments of clarity and these moments of darkness, that like maybe this was just like the thing he needed to see to like get like, oh shit, I'm the bad guy here. I don't know. I think it could be beautiful.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
sure, but I also I don't know if I can necessarily trust it based on
No, I
Saul's
hear you. I hear you.
proclivities.
I
Like
hear
he
you.
really has quite a wide pendulum swing.
It's possible that the very next chapter starts with, and Yahweh sent evil spirits to Saul again, and he threw a spear at
Exactly.
David. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
possible too.
I want to know how long Saul is going to be a part of this story. And then after Saul goes, maybe in Samuel part 2, who David's adversary is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, what's Samuel doing all this time?
Chilling.
He's just chilling at home. He was like, and then I
Prophesying.
heard from so-and-so that this happened. Whoa,
meditating.
right?
Meditating with the force.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
okay. So next time
Mhm.
we're going to continue on. I'm curious how we think Saul is going to actually enact this kind of like passing along the kingdom to David, because there's not, I mean, maybe we haven't really established a line of succession here. Although maybe if David marries his son, then there's like the line of
Sweet.
succession
I mean,
there.
he is already married to his daughter, but
Oh, you're right. So that's
Oh.
fine. Yeah, I forgot
So he's
about
kind of
that
already in the
detail.
family. He's kind of already in the family.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
It's fine. It'll work out
Is
fine.
Jonathan next in line, though?
I mean, I think he would be normally,
Technically, yeah.
but they're
well,
buds.
I mean,
They'll
they're
figure it out.
lovers.
They
Come
love
on.
each other very much.
I'm going to
Yeah.
give you all a quick teaser for next time.
Okay.
Don't look it up. Promise me we're not going to look it up.
Not.
Promise.
The very
Scout's honor.
first sentence of next week's episode is a like, oh my, okay. Like a big thing is going to happen right away next episode. So don't anyone look it up, but come back next week and join us for episode
was-
105.
What was the title in the message that you didn't want to tell me?
Oh yeah, of the one that we just finished.
Yeah.
The title was David Spares Saul's Life. And I didn't, that was too much of a spoiler. That would not have been good.
We have a listener in the
thank you
chat
for
who
not
suggested
telling me.
that it was Saul poops. I like that too.
It's similar, but, similar but different.
Everybody in the Bible poops.
Everybody poops a Saul story. And on that note, we want to remind you listeners out there that drunkbiblestudy.com/live will enable you to come and join this live episode for free. Just come on over and see us do this in the flesh in real time. It's a fun time. And you get to post in the chat and talk to people who enjoy this show as much as you do. So come on over. And thank you for joining us for Bible study today. If you want even more Drunk Bible Study, including ad-free episodes, oh yeah, that's another thing that we give people, early releases, personal toasts on the show, and more, become one of our patrons at patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy. I had totally forgotten. If you enjoy the show, take a moment to subscribe and then write us a nice review on iTunes or Stitcher, letting other people know what you like about it. You can also join fellow listeners in the Drunk Bible Study Fans and Fellowship Facebook group. Find us on Twitter at Drunk Bible Cast, on Instagram at Drunk Bible Study, or send us an email to info@drunkbiblestudy.com. Drunk Bible Study is created and produced by Jace Lindgren, Dedeker Winston, and me, Emily Matlack. Our theme song is Book Club by Josh and Anand from the album Home of the. For more information, visit us at drunkbiblestudy.com.
I made a memory about your dad.